remember, and click. Oh, hello, future gamers! Donut. Alright, so today, guys, since in the spirits of summer, I'm going to make a video about top 10 people in scary movies. Or just, people in scary movies. It's not really going to be a top 10, because I just want to say it. It's not really going to be a top 10 because, there are a lot of people in scary movies. Well, first of all, there's the fall down a lot. Fall down a lot is basically a person who likes to fall down a lot. Like, say if you're in the woods and a murderer with a chainsaw that has a freaking pistol on it with a shark attached next to a tornado next to another murderer that has the same weapon chasing after you. You try to run away, but every time you keep tripping over something, maybe sometimes even your own foot, and you die. I know my graphics are kind of low right now, and you can only see my teeth. White, very, very white. I like to keep minty clean. Ding! But really, guys, there are a lot of people. I just told you one. Another one is the jock. The jock is the one who tries to, fight off the killer. And he ends up getting brutally murdered way worse than the killer expected. The more angrier the jock is, the more equipped the murderer is, gonna kill you. Basically what happens is, like, say if I was watching a movie the other day and I had a jock and they were all, it was jock, a nerd, the fall down a lotter, and the hot chick. These are just a lot of the people in the movie. So basically it was about a werewolf who killed people at this cabin, but they got, the two people got away, but the other people unfortunately died. The werewolf jumped into one of the rooms, killed the hot chick by slitting her throat, and then, this is really, really bad and kind of disturbing. In the movie, what happened was the werewolf actually said, "Hey man, I'm sorry, did I kill your bee back there?" And by bee I mean, B-I-T-C-H. Yeah. And he said, "I'm gonna kill you." And he ran up to the werewolf and he tried to punch him, but the werewolf grabbed him by the neck and then kind of chopped off his sack. Not a good way to start your week. And he died. He died, of course. Yeah, Chuck. The third one, as you heard, is the hot chick. Now, the hot chick is a lot like the fall down a lot, but the hot chick is also the one who tries to sacrifice people to save herself, only to eventually get murdered. Like, the hot chick will do anything to survive. The hot chick is the girl who has, like, blonde hair, or, like, just any type of hair, just running around, acting like a fool, trying to get people to try to not get murdered. The hot chick, basically, she doesn't last long. Now, this is, like, kind of a stereotype, but then there's the black guy. The black guy, in movies these days, he doesn't really get murdered first, but he just can't catch a break. Like in Final Destination. It's not really a horror movie, but stuff happens. So what happens is, the black guy, he's in a bar drinking. At the end of Final Destination, I kept saying Final Destiny. At the end of Final Destination, The last one, the final last one, the black guy actually got killed last, which is good, but black guy, they just can't seem to catch a break, because he was in a bar drinking away while the other guys were on the plane that crashed down into the bar, which really sucked, because he didn't even do anything throughout the whole entire movie. He didn't kill anyone, except for that one worker who just wouldn't listen. He didn't kill him, but he thought about it, and he tried to save him, but he couldn't. And he didn't really do anything throughout the whole entire movie. He didn't do anything bad. He just wanted to live, and he ends up getting killed in a bar. Sucks. So after that, movie ends, cuts to the end scene, and black guy. The next one would be the geek. The geek is the person who basically lives. The geek, you don't want to be too geeky, because some geeks, you know, get killed, like, who are very geeky. But if you're like in the middle, like Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield geeky, then you're fine. Because basically, if you're just a super geek who has like 4 pens in his like pocket and wears glasses with tape in the middle, then you're gonna die. But if you're one of those guys who has like good hair, who knows a lot of stuff about computers and horror movies and games and stuff, you'll be fine. And then there are, it's not really a category, but the police. The police in games, movies, TV shows, they just can't seem to catch a break. They always end up dying somehow. Somehow, some way. Like in Scream. The one police officer was searching the perimeter, and he went behind the truck to go check the tires, and boom, here comes out Scream, stabbing him in the back of the neck. And then he kills, and then when the other officer gets out, he gets stabbed in the head, and he says something, and he dies. It was a really bad, but for some reason, officers in movies, games, TV shows, they just can't catch a break, and it really sucks. It really does. I'm not done yet, just yet. And then there's another one. Now, this guy, he's not really, you know, category material, but he's still, this person still is like the epitome of horror movies. And that's the inspector. The inspector is the one who hears a freaky noise or hears a voice in their house, and they go and check it out. They're just the dumbest people in movies. They're just so dumb. Like, I'm watching a movie. This guy freaking hears some type of noise in his bathroom. He goes into the bathroom to investigate. You don't do that. You either get out of your house or call someone. When you call someone, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily gonna help, but that's the person who's also going to investigate, not with you, but by themselves. So if you hear, ah, or something, or screaming or something, you get out of the house. But just make sure it's not like a kind friend. Make sure it's like your ex-girlfriend or something, or ex-boyfriend, or just not a friend at all, just some random guy saying that he won $1 million and that's in the bathroom. And then get the heck out of there when you hear screaming. Yeah, but then there are the guys who are the wimps. I'm not necessarily one of those guys. I'll try to fight back, but then I'll run if something, you know, goes down. But the wimp is kind of like the geek. They run. The geeks don't necessarily run away. They try to fix the problem, kind of like the jock. But the wimp is the guy who just runs away from the situation. I know somebody like that. But let's not get into that. But the wimp basically is the guy who does things not very good. He runs away from things, he just wimps out on everything. He necessarily gets murdered near, like, kind of the end of the movie, but not really. He's the type of guy that isn't that smart, but knows when to get away from a situation. And then gets murdered for it. So that's the end of our top 10 people, or top people in horror movies. And I'll see you later. Peace.